Beautiful. Hello. Hello and welcome to the European Coreboot Conference 2017. My name is Julian Lapstein and I'm your MC throughout the conference. And I have to say I'm really excited for this conference. A lot of exciting talks from what I've seen, and our very first speaker today is to be known as a title, and the title is the High Priest of Coreboot. Please let me welcome on stage Mr. Stefan, excuse me, Reinauer, sorry.
Hello. Yeah. Wow, it's a full room. Heartfelt welcome to everybody that made it here today. I'm absolutely flabbergasted to see every one of you sit in this room today. It's so many people, and I have to say, at this point, many thanks to 9 Elements and many thanks to Philipp Deppenwiese, who went through endless hours, nights and days of work to make this event happen. And I know he had a lot of sweat and blood and love and hate into organizing this event, and it's absolutely fantastic. And then on top of everything, I told him whenever he didn't ask for it, I was like, I don't think we should do another coreboot conference. It's gonna be too much. Like 2 conferences in a year. It's like, there's never that many people coming that it's worth that. Well, I'm really happy to see that he proved me absolutely wrong, and you all did. So thanks for that. Yeah, that's absolutely worth it. Thank you. Also, here, I have to read this to all of you because we have a great number of sponsors that made this event happen today. And the list is so long, I couldn't memorize it in a short time before the event. I very much also want to thank Professor Dr. Thorsten Holz for making this event possible today. Is Professor Dr. Holz in the room? So thank you. And then there's also 2 booths over there from our sponsors. There's the Secunet and the BSE are here today, who both have contributed significantly to the success not only of this event but also of Coreboot as a whole, going many, many years back. So I have worked with both of them since at least 2010, 7 years ago. So thank you very much for your support. Also on this list, more sponsors are the Bochum Wirtschaftsentwicklung. Siemens is the sponsor of this event. PC Engines, Kooperation und Partner, Horst-Götz-Institut für IT-Sicherheit, the University Bochum, and NRW Units. So please, another applause for all of these guys that made this happen today. This is really great. I can't believe it that there's so many sponsors. Yeah, please, everyone, go find these people that made this event happen today. Talk to them, tell them how you like it, whether you like it, that you like it. Tell them how awesome it is. And I think we're going to have a whole lot of fun here today and tomorrow. Looking back at Coreboot, and so this year is the year I think that coreboot is 18 years of age, which is, I don't know, about the age of some people in this room, maybe. Makes me feel old. Oh my gosh. That means, I don't know, coreboot is now at an age where, like, if it were a human being, it could vote. It could, in Germany, it could drink. But it's certainly at an age where there's a level of maturity that that is new and different from what was there before. And I think that with the success that coreboot has had in the last couple of years, this truly shows that we all got the project there. To mention a few of these things, so in the last year we joined after many, many years of discussing back and forth on how we can set the coreboot project on solid feet with our funding and put an organization behind it that is more than just a loose community of developers. We joined as a project the Software Freedom Conservancy, which is our fiscal sponsor. They're a nonprofit that supports open source software projects. We have become a part of them, so that means that we can now, in the future, we will be able to hold events like this and even bigger ones. So I think that's a really great new thing that we got this year. One other thing that I want to specifically point out is that we kind of got back into bringing AMD on board. AMD has been a really great supporter of the coreboot project in the past, and then it always goes back and forth. Like generally with silicon vendors, we have seen this so many times in the past where we have a contact at one company and we work with them, and then that contact goes away, the support goes away. We work hard, find somebody new, we build it back up. This has been a real big problem in the past, and I think now, for the first time actually, we are at enough momentum where this is no longer the case. We now have permanent relationships with some of these companies. Intel has, for example, has a large team of coreboot developers these days. Google has a fairly large team of coreboot developers these days. Many of the companies and organizations that you represent here today hire coreboot engineers. And so bringing this new level of support back up is really making the project break through and allowing us to support the majority, I would say, of new hardware, at least in some areas. So right now, we're mainly focused, I guess, on mobile devices, like laptops. There's some efforts in the embedded area. There's some effort in the server space, which is also going to be growing over the next couple of years, I believe. And yeah, generally, the BIOS development has always been a walled garden in the field of software engineering. And very few people know about this field. It's really baffling. Like I kept telling people when they asked me, what is it that you're doing? It's like, if you don't know what I'm doing, it shows that I did my job right. Because you don't know that there is a BIOS involved or a firmware involved at all. If you see a boot screen for 25, 30 seconds, you know, somebody messed up there along the way. So this walled garden, grown for me personally, well, growing up in Germany and having brought down a big wall that parted us in the past. Now I live in a country where some crazy person wants to build a new wall. It makes me want to go crazy. But I stand here in front of you today because I want to tear down walls. I want to make sure that we all get to know the technology that we work on, that we have control over the technology that we work on. And I want to build bridges. I want to make sure that we can build technology that is worth using and that brings us as people forward. And I think coreboot can make a significant contribution to that. So thank you guys all for being here. It's great. It's a great honor to be here with you today. And at this point, I'm going to give the microphone to Dirk Häger from the BSI. So thank you, everybody.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, lady and gentlemen. So it's not many women in this area. It's like in IT security, we have the same problem. It's the first time I got in contact with coreboot is, I think, 7 years ago, when I hired Häger for the BSI, and he told me what he is working at this moment with Google. And so, okay, why do we need coreboot? There's a problem with it. And okay, but I come later to this part of my talk. First of all, it's like Stefan already mentioned, really thank you that you are here, and I would like to give the thanks of my agencies of the German government about the efforts you are putting into coreboot. Simply to have an alternative way to start up a system, I think it's worth having. It's not about what is really better, but having an alternative to have control is something we really like to have. I'm already mentioned that I'm working for the BSI. I don't know how really international this conference is, but I assume that not all of you have heard about the BSI. The English translation of this German acronym is Federal Office for Information Security. And it's working for the BSI is, I think, quite nice. Due to some reason, our mission is quite simple. Our responsibility is improving information security. There are no ifs in this mission. When we get information about security vulnerability, it's our task to close that. We are no police agency, we are no secret service who might have use of this vulnerability in the future. So we have to close them, we have to fix them. And before, in the time before I had this talk, I talked with a colleague from Seconet, and it's building a better world, making systems more secure is something we really like to promote with students all over the world, and especially here in Germany. And of course, I think all of you know, getting good people for your company, for your agency is important. So if somebody is looking for a new job, please contact Karl Daniel in the next few days and talk to them. So I think we can work something out about this. Our normal tasks we have in the BSI, of course, my main task at the moment is protecting the government network. It's not about coreboot and such stuff. The government is, you can say, a big company, and of course we are seeing attacks every day, and we try to detect them and defend against this. Another big part of our work is making standards. Simply writing down on papers what good security practices are, and try to convince the people in the world, and especially here in Germany, agencies and companies, how to be more resilient against attacks from the internet. And I think this is the main reason why Karl Daniel invited me to give a talk today, is the BSI is also funding security projects. And Stefan already mentioned it, the BSI supported coreboot since several years, and I'm quite sure that we will continue with this in the future. Some examples about what we have done in the last year. BSI also funded, promoted GNU-PG. It's something we really like to have German citizens use when they try to when they communicate using email. Of course, we are not really that successful. The amount of encrypted emails in the internet is still very low. Of course, Snowden helped with this to increase the number, but it dropped a little bit later again. It's not only GNU-PG which we are supporting, we also try to use it. You all know, they have software which is really good, it's not enough. You have to integrate it in products to make it easy to use. And so there are some projects in the BSI to integrate GNU-PG in Outlook, because that's what a lot of people out there in the world are using. They are not Linux-based or Unix-based, they are using Windows. That's why we are also having a port of GPG for Windows, where we try to make it easier to use. And I hope you're using those products. And we are also invested money in the recent development of the key distribution process, the RFC, which was being drafted in the last few years. To sum it up, we are the good guys. I'm quite sure that other agencies are having the same view about them, but it's, we have this one mission, and I think it works. A few words about me. I'm not a hardware guy, and I'm not a software engineer. I'm a physicist, and the code I've written during my university time and I don't think anybody would like it. It works, and security wasn't really something I was looking at. But working now for the BSI for 20 years, and then even at the university times, if you ever studied physics and doing some experiments and analyzing a lot of log data, sometimes it gets boring, and you are playing around with the computers, which is the tools you have, and that's the way I entered the security area, hacking university computers. And of course, in the 90s, it was much more fun than today. And you could simply hack a computer, send an email to the administrator, and he really thanked you for finding out a mistake in the setup. It's totally different today. And of course, a lot of universities have set up some test labs, but it's totally different if you try to. It's more fun to hack fraud computers. Okay, I don't want to you to fine. What I'm aiming at is that being a network guy, normally computer security or network security, I try to enforce security at the perimeter level. So in the good old days, 10 years ago or 15 years ago, if you had a good firewall, you were quite good protected from attacks coming from the internet. And of course, you also dealt with the operating system, hardening it, and then everything was good. And I didn't really care about the hardware, the underlying processes of my operating system. This changed a little bit, I think, when the first attacks with FireWire came out. You had a secure computer and somebody plugged in something into your laptop and he got access to your memory. I didn't like this idea at all. But of course, then the attacker needed physical access to your laptop. And of course, you can protect against this. Then at some Black Hat conference, people were talking about using the graphic cards for putting some digital programs on your computer which are not really detectable detectable by some antivirus scanner, because of course the graphic card has also got access to your computer system. But still then, okay, normal. It's not so easy. But of course, being a government guy, having administrative duties at work, most of the time when I'm playing around with technical stuff, it's at home. And a few years ago I bought a computer and there was this Intel AMT running on this computer. And of course I played around with this too. And then it was really frightening for me that when I used this Intel AMT to have access to my computer, then having a TCP dump running on this computer, that I couldn't see anything about this communication going on between my computer and some outside system. And okay, what's going on? Still, if I'm getting this ECC, getting the screen to this remote computer, there's still something going strange on the computers I'm monitoring. There's the picture changes. But of course, this is only because Intel put it into the system that the user who's sitting in front of this computer is aware of that someone is accessing this computer. But who says that this is not configurable, that it can be switched off? Then an external guy might have access to my computer without me having any chance to detect it. So it's hardware is a problem. And of course, the vulnerabilities detected this years about the Intel management engine did not really have to promote more trust into those systems. So, to sum it up, we security guys, at least I'm a security guy, have to look closer to the underlying functions of a computer system. How it's booted up. So let's talk a little bit about coreboot. I'm quite sure that everyone in this audience knows more about coreboot than me, so I'll make it short. I'm quite glad that Stefan mentioned that working together with vendors is getting better. I was assuming that it's still more difficult, but even if you have contact to AMD and to Intel, you still need the manufacturers of those laptops to embed those coreboot onto those systems. So it's not something a software engineer really is good at talking with manufacturers, but I hope that you are being here on this conference will give you good arguments when you talk with them to convince them that it's really useful not always to use this standard BIOS on the systems. And another thing which, of course, you are also aware of is that still having coreboot in this open source software using, that there are still some large binary blocks in the boot process. And I read something about it at Wikipedia before giving this talk. And it's on the web pages of the coreboot website. It's at least some binary blocks most likely will never go away. But if you can manage to switch them off, if they are not needed, that would be a great progress too. If we really know what's included in the boot process, it helps us. And having control about the boot process is something the BSI, what makes the BSI interested in coreboot. The BSI tries to, if we are drafting secret documents, confidential documents, if the government agencies are communicating with each other via the internet, of course we don't want to have any other nations to monitor what we are doing, so we need strong encryption. And for the real strong encryption systems we are using, which are being built by Seconet, over there, they are using, for the high confidentiality stuff, they are using coreboot, so that we have so that we can have more control about the system. To have trust into a system, it's really nice to know what's going on. And so we have coreboot on a product called Zina, it's a family. It's an encryption device for communication, but it's also a desktop system where we can work on. And it's about trust. And it's about, are we able to check what's in the software? And having a small footprint, a small code base, makes it much easier to have control over this. So, that was it from me. Thank you for being here. And I wish you a very successful conference, good talks, good discussions, and good progress and development for code.